There has never been a better time than now to come join the Bellisio Foods team. Bellisio has a new contract in place with plenty of awesome perks for their employees. From increased wages, access to the free health clinic, vacation after 6 months, and much more, Bellisio Foods is committed to putting their employees first. For more information or to apply, visit BellisioFoods.com/careers. Take advantage of these great new employee benefits and join the Bellisio team today. Visit BellisioFoods.com/careers to learn more. Never have our community heroes been more worthy of recognition than today, and Wendy's is here to show thanks for all they do with a free breakfast for a year giveaway. Starting Monday, November 15th through December 9th, we want you to nominate the individuals you feel have gone above and beyond. Just go to yourtotalmedia.com/communityheroes and give us a line or two about why someone you know deserves free Wendy's breakfast for a year as part of Wendy's Thank You Thursdays campaign throughout this holiday season. That's right, our community heroes have the opportunity to win free breakfast for a year from Wendy's, which includes a delicious breakfast combo. We'll select a community hero every week on Thursday, and you'll hear their inspiring stories on the air. You can nominate anyone who's made an impact in our community. Wendy's wants to reward our dedicated and hardworking individuals because these heroes have kept our communities together and running. Make your nomination today at yourtotalmedia.com/communityheroes, and Wendy's will be providing free breakfast for a year to those deserving individuals.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We disappeared again.
We're disappeared again. Well, happy Monday, everyone. And James will fix our video thingy mabobber because that's what he does. And we'll get there eventually. And hopefully, you think you can hear? Okay. So welcome to our Monday. And it is definitely a Monday when the video doesn't come on. And we're fighting internet issues, and there we are, and all kind of fun stuff this morning. So, but welcome. And our good friend Pete Wilson would normally be here on Mondays to do the morning news update. However, he has a meeting this morning scheduled.
Maybe.
Internet
willing.
If the internet ever comes back on.
Yeah.
So.
We're having some internet issues this morning, so if the stream is not
glitchy
quite. Yeah, if it's a little glitchy, we apologize, but that's why.
Yep, that's why. And so we hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Countdown is less than, 2 weeks?
12 days until Christmas.
12 days until Christmas.
I heard you went Christmas shopping this weekend and then just threw in the towel and gave up.
I gave up. I was like so excited. So, our family doesn't do like much Christmas like shopping per se because we go on a vacation every February together. So it's kind of like, that's our Christmas present.
Yeah.
So, but I did tell Jamie, I said, I just like to go up to Columbus and, like maybe go to Easton and just walk around and look at the lights and the hustle and the bustle of all the fun, experiences. And so we got in the car and we drove to Easton, and the wind started and the rain started, and it got to be about, 12 degrees outside, it felt like. And so we got to do none of that. But we still got to go out to dinner, and we ran into a lot of folks from this area. I'm just going to tell you something. If you're ever doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, don't do it in Columbus, Ohio, because somebody is watching you.
Somebody you're going to run into somebody you know.
You are going to. Numerous times this weekend, we ran into people that we knew. And so it was Saturday night. It was just so cold, and it was so windy. You could hardly even walk outside. So we were like, we just don't feel like walking around out there, taking the chance of getting sick or whatever. So we're like, we'll just go hang at the hotel bar and just chill out for a little bit before we go to bed. And ran into like droves of people from this area that were all up there doing the same thing. I'm like, oh boy. It was fun though. Yeah. It was so fun. I'm like, oh, I know you. Some of our friends, one of our friends that works at Holzer was there. Some friends that I hadn't seen that used to come into Courtside all the time. We owned it in Gal Police. And then some people from Jackson were there. So it was a hoot, to say the least. But yeah, don't ever do anything you're not supposed to be, because somebody's going to see you. Not that I was.
funny.
I was being a good girl, I think.
Right. I'm sure you were.
I wasn't doing anything else that anyone else there wasn't doing. How's that?
That doesn't make it right.
Hey,
it's like that old
there's
adage,
safety
like
in numbers.
If everyone else jumped off the bridge, would you do it? Well, yeah, everybody else did it. What am I supposed to be the only one that didn't jump off the bridge? What are you talking about?
Oh no, but it is. Yeah. It's fun, man. Easton, of course, is just packed up there, and good for them and good for the businesses and the restaurants and all that stuff. But
it gets next level busy up there.
It does. So, in living in Columbus for a long time, it helps the way you kind of know the back roads and stuff, because we went downtown for a little bit on Saturday about noon just to see a couple of things that we wanted to see. And as we're pulling out, you're looking at that line of cars on 270, and it's miles long trying to get off into that Easton exit. I was like, note to self, do not come back that way, because you'll never get back.
I'm sure there was one guy in the middle of that line yelling at everybody else for not going fast enough. Probably. What do you want me to do, man? There's 20 cars ahead of us.
He's that guy that's passing everyone, trying to get one car ahead.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. They this is off topic. They did that on Mythbusters one time. They drove from like Los Angeles to San Francisco, and like one guy got like in the left lane, put his cruise control on, just stayed there the whole time. And then the other guy like zigzags through traffic constantly the whole time.
Just trying to get like one ahead.
And they got there like 3 minutes difference or something like that. Like completely insignificant.
Chill out, man. But no, those lines though on the highway to get off to an exit to go to a mall is just that is crazy to me.
Sure is.
So I saw that you went to the Majestic over the weekend. Yeah. That's super exciting.
It was super exciting. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but we'll give it a shout out. So the Majestic Theater in Chillicothe put on Miracle on 34th Street.
That is probably one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Don't care which version it is. Don't care. Yeah. Love them.
So this was put on by the Chillicothe Community Theater.
So good.
And then right there in the middle, that is the daughter of our own Matt McKee.
Yay!
So she was the kid lead, Susan Walker, right?
Susan, yeah.
And Matt played a couple different roles. He and hopefully when he gets a break toward the end of the hour, he's going to come in and talk to us about it a little bit more.
Oh, that's so exciting!
So Matt played two parts. He plays Mr. Macy, like the owner of the department store. Yes. And he's very good in that role. But the role that he really excelled at, if you remember the beginning of the film, the way they bring in the Santa is the Santa that's supposed to be the Santa on the float
is hammered.
And so Matt plays the drunk Santa Claus. Nice. And he nails it.
That's so good. I love it.
So that was really a lot of fun. The fact that that's just like amateurs like doing that just kind of like for fun, like as their hobby.
Sure.
They even put on like a production that big. They said there's like 21 musical numbers in it or something like that. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Now, are they done with it or did they?
I think Sunday was the last day. Okay. It was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think or maybe Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Were the only days to see it. But it was really Santa. Something. And they are going to have another presentation in February, I think.
Okay.
Matt will know for sure, I think. But yeah, but they've done, this is the third show that he's done with them, I know. And it wasn't that long ago. Like it was just this summer that he started doing it, and they've already done 3 shows.
Wow.
So these guys really, really work hard to put this stuff on.
Seems kind of like they must be ongoing all the time.
I guess so. I mean, as soon as they finish the one, they're into the next thing.
Very good.
But it was really cool. And that's a really beautiful theater, especially from the outside.
Yes.
I mean, the inside's really beautiful too. It would be really cool to go back in time and see that place in its heyday.
Yeah. Kind of like the Opera House above Colorado and you know, some of those other things that it's a bummer to me that I don't feel like there's any pictures or anything. I'm sure somebody has them somewhere, but you'd love to see them. Kind of like the Marquee and everything else.
Well, I mean, the Marquee looks great now and it's fully remodeled and stuff like that. But you see some of those old photos and there are people like lined up down the street to get in there.
Yep.
And I mean, it would be really cool to go back to the 1940 or whatever and like see it when it was like that. When it was
rolling, it was. And then, did you know? You may or may not know this, that there was a Kmart theater.
No.
So there was the Marquee, and then there was the Kmart.
Okay.
And it was where Sherwin-Williams is now.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yep.
I did know that, I mean, and when I went to school in Oak Hill, like when I was in elementary school, the elementary was broken up into like 3 different schools. The one that I went to was Black Fork, and you could see like the remains of where there used to be, I think it was a drive-in theater in Black Fork, but you could still see like the bricks and stuff were there, but it was just like all grown up in woods then. Yeah.
I can't believe, it seems to me that drive-ins, especially during, this time, wouldn't make a huge comeback because, you can stay in your car with your people.
Yeah.
And not be out and about.
I mean, there's a reason that the drive-ins went away. I don't know if it's hard to maintain or because they needed so much property or
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I think, you had the old
well, the fact that they had to sneak
so everybody
late,
in and well, and they did have to start late.
Yeah, you couldn't start until it was dark, which wouldn't be that big of a deal in December, but nobody wants to go to a drive-in movie in December. So I guess that's probably part of it.
Yeah. I don't know. They were fun though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Probably the Stardust was the last one. That was Alan and my dad opened that up.
Yeah. Well, there's one that's
on Athens Street
still open in Lancaster. Maybe?
Okay. I know there's one on the south side of Columbus, but I can't remember.
I remember vaguely doing a few advertisements for them when I worked in Athens.
Yeah.
And I think it was in Lancaster. I might, maybe it was in Logan. I don't remember.
It'd be fun.
I can't remember what it was called, but I remember they had the most amazingly bad website ever. Like they made this website in 1998 and like never changed anything other than what movie it was showing. And I remember because the way the drive-ins always worked when I was a kid is they would show like a family movie, a kid's movie.
Yeah.
And then they would show a more mature movie after it.
Yes.
And I remember we like made a joke. I was like, I bet they're showing Batman and then Magic Mike. And sure enough, that's what it was.
Combo,
that was the combo. It was bring the family for Batman and hang out for Magic Mike for the late show.
That was a good movie, by the way.
Can you imagine if they did like 50 Shades of Grey as the late movie? And you're like you're just driving by. You just see that out the corner of your eye.
Well, no, this is no lie. So I watched Magic Mike on an airplane.
So did you watch it like on your personal device or did you watch it on the airplane TV?
No, thank God I watched it on my phone, but I look over and the guy like sitting next to me is going.
Yeah, I feel like that's worse that you're watching it on your personal device.
Yeah. It was just I had it downloaded and I hadn't watched it yet, so I was like, well, I'll just watch that because I knew Jamie probably wouldn't want to watch it and whatever. And then it dawned on me about halfway through, this may be a little creepy.
Yeah.
But it is fantastic. Other than, I will say that his girlfriend in that movie is probably one of the most annoying characters of all time.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Just You mean you haven't watched it?
I've not. I did watch this weekend. There's this really funny comedy special that just came on Netflix with Rob Lowe, and it's just him talking about movie cliches.
Yes.
And it's really funny, but 50 Shades is one of the movies that they talk about a little bit on there. It's pretty good. Pretty funny.
If you haven't seen that, just go ahead and don't watch it with the kids, okay?
Yeah. No, not a kids movie.
No.
Oh, man. When that came out, like all the women at my work were just so
really losing their minds.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's like, I mean, like older ladies, they're just like, yeah, we're gonna go see it.
Well, you know why? Not to psychoanalyze, but I think that if nothing else, it just got people talking about stuff that was like, forbidden taboo. Before. Yeah, and it's like it got people talking about it. So I think it was a good thing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. The lady sold a lot of books.
Yes.
A lot of movie tickets.
A lot of movie tickets.
Yeah. Good for them.
A lot of pretty people in the movie. Yep. But anyway.
It's true.
Oh my goodness. So, wow, we've covered the gamut this morning already.
Yeah. We're all over the place. So it's talking about beautiful people that did interesting things this weekend. The Davis Choir performed at the Marquee.
There you go. All right. We love that. Look how amazing.
Yeah, so they did a big show Saturday night. Of course, we talked about it here last week quite a bit, but it went great. Wonderful show.
Did you get to see it?
Well, it was at the same time as the Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, okay. So you couldn't be in two places at once.
We could not be in two places at once, unfortunately. But I heard it went very well.
Good. You know, it's just one of those things that, you know, we have so many, our Welsh heritage just really comes out. And we, you know, have so many talented people in our area. And, you know, to see the DM Davis choirs come together and perform, and especially at the holiday time, it's just, I don't know. It's what makes small towns so cool.
Yeah. Well, it is really nice seeing all these small town like theater things happen like that for Christmas. Feel like it's giving you festive things to do.
Yes.
It's nice.
Like I just feel like especially this year, I don't know if it's just because people were kind of, you know, cooped up last year, but I feel like there's so many things this year. Like,
I think
there's not time enough to see it all.
Well, I think that's the way that it was before COVID too. I think that's why some people were kind of relieved that they got to like take a break.
Got a COVID break.
Like everything nonstop all the time. But it is back, and it's a good thing.
Love it. Love it. And still need to get down to Gallipolis. I haven't made it down in the past year or so. Well, I don't think they did. Did they do the lights last year?
Yeah.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, it may have been a little bit smaller, but I don't think they did the big. They didn't do the big like
the big shindig.
The grand opening tree lighting thing last year, but they had the lights up. Speaking of Gallipolis, they had at the Colony Theater, talking about all these old theaters, they had like a Santa meet and greet thing on Saturday night there also.
Sorry, did
and it looked super cute.
That's so good. And the Colony opened up for a while as a kind of a
little restaurant,
restaurant, bar and grill kind of deal. And they had a really cool concept. I don't know. It just didn't quite survive it. And
I think the issue that they had was with like the plumbing and stuff wasn't up to modern code.
Yeah.
And they just weren't able to
maintain it.
Upgrade it, I think they needed to replace the pipes and things like that. And it was just, too big of a project.
So what are they doing with the Colony now?
Well, I think it's just similar to what they're doing in Oak Hill with the Liberty Theaters. It's just a space that you can rent out.
You can rent it out. Yeah. Okay.
You just can't have like a kitchen,
Gotcha. Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think that's what's going on.
Well, it was adorable. Went there several times, and too bad that concept couldn't continue on.
I agree.
It was neat.
I'll tell you the other thing that was really nice about the Colony, like being a restaurant, is if you went to downtown Gallipolis thinking you were going to go to Courtside, and you went in there and found out that it was a 2-hour wait.
Right.
You could walk down the street and go to the Colony Club.
That's right. You had another option.
You had another option that generally had a shorter wait.
Yep.
But yeah, that was really nice, and it's a shame that wasn't able to.
I agree.
Last.
Yep.
Hey, do you have fun talking on the radio?
Sure.
So we are looking for,
Why?
Total Media is looking for some other people that want to talk on the radio. We need broadcasters for Wellston basketball.
Oh.
So we are looking for broadcasters for Wellston girls and boys high school basketball. If you are interested in being a Wellston sports broadcaster, give us an email at info@yourtotalmedia.com.
Very cool. Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
If I knew what I was talking about, but
That's
I don't.
it. Like, by the end of the season, you'll probably figure it out, and then the season will be over. So, but we would love to, find a couple.
I feel like there would be
people
out there that would love that.
You don't have to have experience. You just, have to be willing to, put the time into it. And
sure.
But if you're interested in being a broadcaster on the radio for Wellston basketball, give us a call, shoot us an email.
Okay. Very good. Yeah. That sounds like fun.
I think it sounds like fun.
You should do it.
Well, here's the thing. I would like to do it once. I do not want to
like in your spare time.
Yeah, I do not want to devote two because they play a lot.
Yeah, they do.
That's 2 or 4 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just home games. They don't broadcast the away games. Now, come tournament time, that'll probably change.
Yep.
But it is just home games, and I don't think it's all the home games. It's just kind of a selection of them. But but if you're interested in that, give us a call, shoot us an email.
Love that.
Yeah. Hey, I saw this on Facebook this morning. I thought this was kind of interesting too.
Okay. When you started out, I saw this on Facebook.
I saw this on Facebook. No, well,
I'm not sure.
So Bob Dole passed away last week.
Yeah.
Of course, he was U.S. Senator for 34 years or something like that. The Lillian Jones Museum shared these photos from, I think it said 1994. This is Bob Dole visiting Jackson. I can't quite tell where that's at. Do you recognize where these pictures are taken at?
Well, I see. Is that the peak of the courthouse in the very back of the left picture?
I don't know.
I do not know.
Yeah. But so the Lillian Jones Museum posted these photos on Facebook, and it caught my eye because, one, it's just kind of neat because, 94 is probably about the height of his kind of political, power and whatnot. But I was also just curious where these are taking at because I don't recognize that building that's behind them. It's probably either not in great shape or not around anymore, I bet.
That's either the peak of the courthouse or one of the churches, it seems.
Well, if you have an idea of where that's at, leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm sitting right now. I can't see the comments. I'll run over and check it here in a second and see if anybody knows.
I'm looking to see if I know who any of those people are.
Yeah, I don't really recognize the people either.
Of course, I'm old and I can't see that far.
Right.
So.
And the photo's a little dark, too.
Yep. That is really cool, though.
Yeah.
Now, he ran for president or vice president?
Well, yeah. Well, he ran. He never got, a major party nomination to run for president, but he ran for the nomination a few times.
Okay.
So it probably would have been. So Clinton was elected in 92. Is that right?
Oh, you're asking the wrong person.
So he probably would have run for the Republican nomination in 96.
It would have been after Clinton, you think?
Well, right, because Clinton ran. Bush Sr. was the incumbent, and Clinton ran against Bush Sr.
Okay.
And so Bob Dole would have, I don't think he got the nomination, but 96 probably would have been the year that he ran for the Republican nomination.
Okay.
I think.
We'll go with that.
I could be completely wrong.
I guess I could look really quick.
Yeah. Well, no, that's ridiculous.
Now I've got to look. I'll just ask Siri. Hey, Siri, when did Bob Dole run for president?
Okay, I found this on the web for when did Bob Dole run for president. Check it out.
She knows everything.
Check it out.
Check it out, she says. Let's check it out. This is going to be so long, it's going to be hard to do. He became leader of his party in the Senate, twice served as majority leader, selected by President Ford as the vice presidential candidate in the 1976 election.
Okay.
After their defeat, he unsuccessfully sought the Republican. Oh, wait, we were way off. You're only a decade off. It's okay.
It was only in the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay.
He, after their defeat, he unsuccessfully sought the Republican presidential nomination in 80 and 1988. After finally clinching his party's nomination for president in March of 96. So
he was the nominee in 96.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then would he have run against Clinton then in 96 and lost to Clinton?
Yeah, that would have been Clinton's second term.
Yeah. He was defeated in November when President Clinton won the election. Wow. You don't see people running over that gamut of time that long. Like, that's a long period of time. That's 10 years.
Joe Biden ran for the nomination several times.
Joe Biden's 750 years
Bob
old.
Dole was 91 or 94.
Not in 96, he wasn't.
Yeah,
just saying, or 88.
Well, yeah, he was in his 70s.
Oh, probably didn't have Alzheimer's back then either. But anyway.
I don't know. My main thing that I remember of Bob Dole is when they made fun of him on Family Guy for being kind of senile.
Did they?
Yeah, and that was 15 years ago.
That was a long time ago too.
Yeah, it wasn't 1996, but it was a while ago.
Oh,
I thought those pictures were neat.
No, that's really cool. And, a lot of folks, it is amazing how many politicians and, important people do pass through town. And sometimes you just forget about it.
Yeah.
But, that's pretty cool. Dear Santa, we're still doing Dear Santa.
Yeah, tomorrow night, Santa Claus will be here at 7 p.m. Going to be reading the letters that people have sent in.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, is it too late to send your letters in?
Well, it is past the deadline now, but if you get it to us by the end of the day today, I think we can still get it in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
So you can get your Dear Santa letter, and you can either drop it off here. There is a North Pole mailbox out front of the plaza out here. And again, we're located in the Stockmeister Plaza behind Burger King. So you can just drop it in the North Pole Post, or you can email to santa@yourtotalmedia.com. Either way.
Yep.
Get those in today.
And then tomorrow at 7, Santa will be back reading those letters. Mark Wood is also going to be back doing some more magic tricks.
Oh, goody.
And we're hoping to maybe get some people from the Marquee to drop by and talk about some of the things that they have going on.
That would be fun.
Mainly the Mad Cat Puppet Show, which I think is this Saturday.
That is always a blast.
Yeah.
They've done several of those.
So that is
good
exciting.
for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Lots
sure.
of stuff. Lots of stuff going on. But yeah, send in those Santa letters and be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 7.
Tomorrow night at 7. So there you go.
Yep.
The big guy himself.
The big guy himself.
Will be here. So, all right. So you sent Courtney and I a message the other day and said...
OMG, there's another Tiger King show already.
I haven't even gotten through the second Tiger King part yet.
We're already on to Tiger King Part 3.
You know what? Good for Netflix. I mean, you just beat that horse till you can't beat it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, most of those people are not happy that they're beating that horse, but yeah.
I mean, if I was Netflix, I'd just keep on keeping on.
Imagine if you were the guy that had the idea, let's make a documentary about these crazy tiger people. Let's make sure they don't understand that we're going to make them look crazy.
Correct. This is fantastic.
So they give us unlimited access to everything.
Yeah, so they just tell us everything.
Yeah, and then we make them look crazy and we make a lot of money.
And then they don't sign stuff, so we just keep on going.
Yeah. Yeah, we just keep reusing the old footage because they refuse to do more interviews because we made them look so bad in the first one.
So I've watched a few of the second
second season
of the Tiger King. But so you're sending me messages, and Courtney, saying that there is a spin-off of that. So tell me about it, because I haven't seen it yet.
So in the first season of the Tiger King, there's the one guy, is Doc Antle or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was the one whose wild animal park was like a cult. He had like multiple wives and everything.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. So he's not in season 2. And I was like, they didn't talk about the craziest guy.
Because he was very...
Right. And so this new season is all about him. It's just 3 more episodes, but it's all about him. And how he like learned to be a cult leader, basically.
Oh.
And all of the like 15-year-olds that he's married, like over the course of his life and stuff like that.
That's good.
Yeah, it is.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry. So, like, big trigger warning. It's like a lot about like human trafficking and like child abuse and sexual abuse of children and things like that. So it's like not really funny.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. Like it kind of is, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like it's really serious stuff. But basically, when this guy was like 20 or whatever, he was like a trust fund kid. His parents owned like the largest lettuce farm in America or something like that. So like he had like a big inheritance or whatever, and he moved to Virginia and lived like adjacent to this like yoga guru who had a cult. Okay. It was like this big thing. And this guy, he was, this full on like yoga monk thing going on, but it was like basically a cult. Okay. Right? Like he was their leader. They did everything that he said.
Yes.
And basically he learned how to be a cult leader from this guy. Oh. And then starts a zoo like a couple miles away from this guy's compound.
A zoo cult.
Yeah. And this is like in the late 70s. Okay. And he's he's moved. He's not in Virginia anymore. He's in Myrtle Beach now. But like he's been doing this for like decades and decades.
How does he legally have all these wives?
Well,
or does he not?
I think he just flew under the radar enough that like
not anymore.
No one ever noticed that he was doing all this stuff. And it was never really legal. People just like,
I'm his wife.
Right. It was just like lapsed in the 80s and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he was marrying like 15-year-olds and stuff like that and like forging their parents' signature on marriage license and stuff like that. It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
But yeah. And he was also a magician. So they play his old...
That's fitting.
Yeah, so they play like his old like magic
bizarre
routine from like the 80s and stuff, which is super cringy.
Super cringy.
But yeah, so...
Now, is he still operating?
So I think he's been arrested too, because this kind of ends with him being arrested.
Okay.
And then they don't really like elaborate on that anymore. It's really this is mostly about his sort of like how he got to be in the position that he was in.
Well, and I haven't seen it, so I can't really speak for it, but I feel in a way, and some people would argue this because animals are animals and humans are humans, but the very thing that they're doing parallels human trafficking with these animals.
I think that's a fair comparison.
So he was going down 2 lanes side by side, and that's really, really creepy. And I was talking with a friend the other day about these puppy mills and how that's similar to human trafficking. And don't get me started on that. And I'm probably going to lose my mind one of these days, probably on this show about that. Yeah. But that's a whole other deal of people that do that. But
But if Tiger King season 2 did not satiate your need for more Tiger King craziness, congratulations, you got 3 more episodes.
You've got 3 more episodes. Is Carol Baskin in it?
She is briefly in it. Joe Exotic is briefly in it. But so it's mostly all about this guy.
No, I think that's interesting. I mean, to say he's a character, or like him or hate him or whatever, or him being completely inappropriate, but I mean, a character nonetheless. And these cult leaders, blows my mind. Like, you have to have such a gift
right.
to be able to get people to follow you like that.
Well, did you watch Waco?
Yes.
Like the dramatization of that?
I did.
Correct. That's David Koresh, right? So like in that, I mean, who knows how accurate it is. It's, it's based on like different books and firsthand accounts and all that stuff. Yep. But it like portrays him as like a lot of the people that are like his followers didn't even really like him. But they were convinced that he was like the second coming of Christ.
Right.
Like, so like they didn't even like him, but they believed, like they followed him. And they were convinced that he like really was what he said he was.
So,
but like they thought he was a jerk and they didn't like him.
Well, because he's sleeping with all their wives.
Right.
But
they were completely convinced and like that he was like what he claimed to be.
I could see that. And I don't know. It's really wild.
Yeah,
and
it really is.
I mean, I understand if you're charismatic and you get people to follow you because they just love you so much or whatever. But yeah, with him, like I felt like when I watched that, a lot of those guys are like, hey, I don't really like what's going on here, but I feel like I kind of need to take one for the team.
Yeah.
Of course, he was telling everyone he was taking one for the team with their wives, but that's a whole other story.
Well, yeah. Well,
he was just helping out.
Yeah. Well, the Tiger King was taking one with all the wives too.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So yeah. But it is wild to see, and whatever. Adults are adults, and adults can do whatever they want to do. But these little
15,
kids, no,
that's a whole different thing.
And these, places that you see where these little girls escape, and or they started as little girls and now they're not, and then they escape. This is some crazy stuff.
And one of the kind of like underlying, I don't know, stories or takeaways or whatever from watching this. So like in the first Tiger King, there's really just one woman that's kind of talking about him and like the things that he did. And then this introduces you to like, 3 or 4 other women with similar stories. And they were all kind of like, well, I never realized what happened to me was unusual until I heard her talk about it.
Okay. They didn't know any different.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, now like it occurs to me that experience that I had was not a normal thing. And, hearing somebody else tell that same story, like now I realize.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess it's like if you grow up in a certain manner, then you just think that's normal.
Yeah. And it's also like, they ran away with them when they were like 15 or whatever, were there for like, a few years or whatever, and then ran away again and like lived their life and just kind of put it behind them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Crazy.
It is crazy for sure.
Crazy. Yeah. And
well, I'll tune in.
Yeah. Well,
I'll bite.
I mean, he's been doing that for like 40 years now.
I mean, I'm more interested in the psychological aspect of how you get people to follow you like that. Yeah. Not that I would ever want to, but it's just like.
Well, he was young and handsome and had tiger cubs.
I mean, you got little tiger cubs.
That was enough for him to, get started. And like I said, he studied under this other guy that was like this like guru cult leader guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Crazy.
Only the Tiger King can continue on.
I don't know. I mean, they got at least one more season of it that they can wring out of it with all these court cases that are pending now for all these people. I don't know.
One of these days they're going to turn him loose, and then it's just going to be on.
Dude, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like talking about like people like getting out of prison and then like becoming like, media, whatever. Like it kind of amazes me that like OJ Simpson's not on like some crazy reality show now. Maybe it's part of his parole that he's not allowed to do anything like that. It's possible. But like it blows my mind that he's not like.
Well, my guess
trying to be on Dancing with the Stars and all that stuff too.
My guess is with all the civil suits that him making any money isn't going to do any good anyway.
That's a good point because he owes that one family like $14 million or whatever.
His wife's family.
Well, no, it wasn't his wife's family. The civil suit was from the other victim's family.
Cato.
The man, I don't remember what his name was.
Cato Kalin. Wasn't it Cato?
I don't know. That name doesn't sound right. But whatever the
Cato. Wasn't it Cato?
I don't know. That name doesn't sound right. But the guy with the mustache.
His wife was with.
Right.
And he murdered them both. Well,
right. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Is the man's family was who brought all the civil suits against them.
No, Cato was the guy that was the neighbor that
maybe I don't know.
Was the witness.
Yeah, that name doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah.
But I think his name was Mark something. I don't know. It's another question for Siri.
Dang it.
but yeah, you're right, because that's why he had to like sell off all of his memorabilia and stuff like that, and that's what led to the whole crazy thing with the pulling the gun on the guy in the hotel room over like, you know, football cards.
I'm just going to tell you too, this is a total side note. This new Apple update sucks. So Mr. Apple, whoever you are,
Tim Kaine,
flip and put it back. I can't work it. Is it on your nerves?
Oh, you're talking about moving the search bar down to the bottom?
Yes, and just other stuff. Like my maps doesn't work anymore.
I haven't had any issues with the map. I've gotten used to the search bar being at the bottom. I didn't like it at first, but you just get used to that stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Hi.
Ron Goldman. Is that the father or is that the victim?
That's the victim.
Okay.
Ron
And then
Goldman.
Cato was the neighbor, right?
Yeah.
Cato Kalin, right? Okay. I'm not completely
We've got
crazy.
another microphone over here, Courtney. If you want to
Yeah,
come
Courtney,
join this
come on
discussion.
over. All right. Thank you. Because I wasn't seeing it. Because I can't.
Well, the
you know
internet's
why?
not working, right?
Because I can't search. Because you know why? Because I don't know how to work it. Because Apple changed everything on my phone. I hate it. No, so my maps, the Apple Maps app, it used to be, it won't let me turn off my in my car.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird to explain. It used to let me toggle back and forth between the
the driving
my phone
mode
and then like I want it playing on my phone. I don't want it playing through my car.
Okay.
And it used to just have a button where I just hit it and it turned it off. And now you can't do that. And it's really on my nerves.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't ever do that. If I plug it into the car, I want to use the car system.
But then it messes with your radio.
You probably don't have Apple CarPlay in your car, do you?
No, because I'm not fancy like Applebee's.
Fancy like Apple CarPlay. Yeah. Well, yeah. My car has Apple CarPlay, which allows the computer, like the entertainment system in the car, to just basically mirror your phone. And so like all the apps and stuff integrate together really well that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that.
Yeah. But it is a relatively new thing. Like any car older than 2017, 2018 doesn't have it.
Mine would be older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I don't like it. Just saying.
I'm sorry.
For the record, it's okay. So let's talk about Wendy's for a minute. Are we still doing that?
As far so
we think
so. Porterhouse was filling in for Matt last week.
Yes.
While Matt was doing the Miracle on 34th Street. And when Matt comes back, he goes, Porterhouse gave away everything I had to give away.
No.
He's like, he better not have given away all of those Wendy's gift cards.
Oh, no.
So I think the Wendy's gift cards
We're not sure then.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the Wendy's gift cards are still back there, but I think pretty much all the other tickets and stuff we had to give away.
Oh, Rodney. God bless you.
We're basically depleted last week.
Those were supposed to last the whole year, Rodney. It's but that's okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I was.
He got on a roll.
Yeah. But yeah.
No wonder he was running around here screaming all the time.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean,
we thought people were in a fist fight out in the lobby.
It was just him out there singing along with Macklemore or whatever.
James is looking at me and they're just like,
where is
screaming.
that
I'm like,
coming
what
from?
is happening?
And it was him. It was Rodney out there. He had the door open to the KOV booth, blasting the radio, singing along with it.
So funny.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, as far as I know, the Wendy's coupons are still back there. So keep sending in those community heroes. Okay. We're going to be giving away those Wendy's breakfast coupons.
That's hilarious. We think.
Yeah, we think.
We think. So, Oh, I found this story. It was kind of fun. So you know how like we all have our own favorite holiday movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But lots of them have iconic homes,
Right.
like in them.
Yeah.
And like
Home Alone.
Yeah, like
Christmas
the Home Alone
Story.
house. Yeah, like where are they actual homes? Do they actually exist?
Right.
Where are they?
Yeah.
So I found an article. I had a couple of them in there. I thought it was interesting. Like, well, we talked about the Home Alone home the other day and it's in Illinois, in a suburb of Chicago, because they actually threw it on Airbnb for one night. You could rent it for the night. I don't know how you got to be lucky enough to do that, because I would have totally.
Yeah, probably a lottery.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so the McAllister's house in Home Alone is a real house located in Winnetka, Illinois. Fortunately, there are no wet bandits there. That we know of. The house has 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Also, none of the doorknobs are electrified or overheated, and there aren't any giant spiders wandering the halls.
Then why
like in the movie.
Why would you even want to go there?
I don't know.
Make it like the movie.
Right? I bet it did for that one night.
Yeah. Just put a bunch of broken Christmas ornaments all over the floor.
Exactly. So you can crunch on them.
Yep.
And of course, A Christmas Story, we all know. I mean, if you don't know, that house is actually located in Cleveland. And it's actually a museum now, and you can visit it. It's been restored, and a museum dedicated to the movie has also been opened across the street. Guests visiting the house may notice a memorable lamp in one of the windows.
Yeah. Until it gets broken.
And then someone cusses a lot.
Yep. Freedom. What does he say? Fudge? Is that what he says?
Well, that's when Ralphie drops the things.
Fudge.
Except I didn't say fudge. I said the queen mother of all dirty words. Oh, the F word. Jingle All the Way. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I've ever even seen that movie.
Well, that's the Arnold Schwarzenegger Sinbad one. I mean, I guess I assumed it was set in New York, but I don't know for a fact. I don't remember the house very well.
The house is actually set in Edina, Minnesota.
Okay.
And it's worth over $202.5 million.
Jeez.
Yeah. Christmas Vacation.
Again, that's set outside of Chicago.
Yes. In reality, okay, so the Griswold family just couldn't have their nice, relaxing vacation. The film, The Griswolds Live Near Chicago. In reality, the house was located on the Warner Brothers backlot in Burbank, California.
Yeah.
It is located in a neighborhood that Warner Brothers owns and uses for various movie and TV productions. So, Christmas Vacation was actually filmed in California.
I wonder how many other movies use that same exact house set.
That is fair, and good question, because you can sit and watch TV shows and movies and be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That layout is exactly the same as whatever, just decorated different.
There's this one coffee diner in Los Angeles that exists solely to be a movie set for coffee shops and diners.
Yes.
And The Big Lebowski, Pulp Fiction, all these shows that have or movies that have
diners in it.
Famous, it's always the same place. It's always the same place. And then the props, the coffee cups and things like that, all those props are made by the same company too. So if you watch closely, look at coffee cups and things like that in movies, it's always the same.
They always look the same.
Yeah. And at one time it was legitimately because there's just one place making these things.
Sure.
But then it became an inside joke and then they really started leaning into it.
And you think about that, who really notices?
Yeah.
Until
somebody notices, and then everybody notices.
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of knew this, but I didn't really know this. So in Star Wars, when people fall off a cliff, there's this kind of canned scream sound effect, and it's always the same scream. And it's I knew it because it's in Star Wars, but it was actually a scream that was recorded for this Western movie 40 years before that or whatever.
They're still using it.
Yeah, and it just became like a stock sound that like Warner Brothers or whoever just had, and they used it over and over again. And like Lucas like was aware of it because he was such like a cinema buff. And then when it was in Star Wars, like everybody became aware of it. So then it became like kind of a running like inside joke, like how many movies use this exact same screaming sound effect.
Can you imagine that was like your voice? Like,
yeah,
I want to be paid every time that scream gets on a movie.
Yep.
I thought that was funny. Let's see. What else? Die Hard.
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Again, that's set in Los Angeles.
At Nakatomi.
In Nakatomi Tower, but
Plaza.
It's really the Fox whatever building. It's a real office building. They just added a top part like in animation.
Yes.
To make it look different.
You are right. And now I've got a trivia question for you. So in Die Hard, yes, that is actually in LA, but it's the Fox Plaza in LA, stood in for the fictional tower. The building has been featured in at least 2 other movies. Do you know?
I don't. But like I said, it is like a noticeable part of the Los Angeles skyline. So it's
one of them I'm like, oh yeah. And the other one, I don't even know that I've seen the movie. So
yeah.
One of them is Airheads. Have you seen it?
With the Brendan Fraser rock movie?
I don't know. Is it?
Yeah. Well, the Airheads movie I know, and I really like it. It's really funny. It's Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, and Steve Buscemi are like a crappy like grunge band.
Okay.
No
way Steve Buscemi's in a movie?
Yeah. And they they can't get their song played on the radio, so they hold the radio station hostage.
Oh, okay.
And it's a really funny movie.
Gotcha.
I assume that's what you're talking about.
Okay, probably.
But, yeah.
But Fight Club. It's in Fight Club.
Okay, is it the building?
It must be the building that
gets blown up at the end?
Yeah, it must be. So, and then I was looking to see.
Go ahead and grab a chair, Matt. Come over here and
I think
join
that's
us.
it.
So we talked earlier a little bit briefly about Miracle on 34th Street.
Hey, Matt's here. Welcome.
Matt McKee, our very own, played multiple roles in the play, and his daughter was one of the leads.
Yeah, Maddie Lynn, my oldest.
That is so exciting.
Take the stage for the first time. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, I was telling James that Miracle on 34th Street is one of my favorite movies of like all time, and I don't care what version it is, like the newer one or the older one. But yeah, so that's so exciting for your little girl to be the lead.
Yeah, and if you know Maddie Lynn, my oldest, she's 10 years old. I know that technically the daughter's supposed to be 6 years old, I think, in the movie, but it's kind of a snarky, older than she should be kind of girl anyway, and has the attitude. Yeah, and so my daughter had it down pat, but she it
wasn't really acting.
It was a trip. She actually, my youngest of the twins, Mariana, is the one that wanted to do it with me because I started hanging out with some of the crew from Chillicothe Majestic Theater this summer when we did Shrek the musical.
Yeah,
and so they all wanted to be a part of it. And so Maddie Lynn decided at the last minute she'd jump in and audition for it, got the lead role, and just took to it. She had her lines memorized we had 6 weeks to put this production together.
Wow. That's quick.
Yeah, it was tough. But she had her lines memorized before anybody else. One night on stage this past week when we were doing our dress run through, she actually corrected one of the ladies who had forgotten her line, and she was like, "Don't correct me on stage. Just go with it." So she doesn't understand all the complete stage etiquette yet. But to say I'm a proud dad this week is Thursday night on opening night. Todd Tinker, the guy that played Santa Claus, he was supposed to bow with Maddie Lynn, and he was just nowhere to be found. But Maddie Lynn comes out, and she's holding flowers, and he said, he gave her the flowers and just pushed her out and said that he wanted her to have her moment, that he wanted her to hear the applause for her because she really deserved it. And so it was,
that's so cute.
It was one of those moments as a dad, and you kind of tear up from the stage and stuff. And
yeah,
it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So.
Well, and James was telling me that you had like one of the best roles ever because you got to be the drunk Santa.
So,
I got the drunk Santa at the beginning.
I want to know.
I mean, that is like one of the best things ever of the movie.
Yeah, like what were you method acting? Like what did you do to like find that character?
Obviously, speaking from a long lifetime career of partying, being the party animal that I am. So, I was, I guess, a little bit of method acting there. So, a lot of people said, "Did you have?"
Did you go next door to the poorhouse beforehand?
Did you have anything beforehand? And I said, no. I said, just a little NyQuil the day before, because if you've never been in the Majestic Theater, the dressing rooms and everything are in what we kind of jokingly call the catacombs or the tomb, and it's full of all kinds of stuff down there. It's hard to tell what's down there. So that's the reason I sound the way I do today. So I could have had a little residual NyQuil in the system, I suppose. But it was fun.
Well, I was really impressed by the show. I saw it Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a pretty big cast and it's a big show. Is what they said, 24 musical numbers in it?
I think 27.
So it was really a lot. We
actually cut a couple of them out, I think, and shortened one of them because like the parade sequence itself, that opening sequence is like 25 minutes if you do the entire thing. And it's like, we cut that back just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was a great crew. I mean, Chillicothe Civic Theater has been around for years. I'm still involved with Apple City Players here in Jackson and enjoy working with them. And so I've had the opportunity to kind of help represent them with the Chillicothe Civic Theater group. And was directed by a wonderful young lady by the name of Savannah Harlow and a whole group of people that put it together.
Did I hear that this was her first time directing?
It was her first time directing. So.
Wow. She picked a big one.
I mean, it's a story that everybody knows.
Yep.
It's Christmas, which is probably the most popular thing that they do throughout the year, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big, that's big shoes to step into.
Yes, it is, for sure.
But so I'm curious, how many people did it take total to put that on? Like, on stage and behind the scenes?
Well, there was, I think, if you count the entire cast and all the ensemble of kids, there's probably a cast of about 25, I'd say, total. And then, of course, you have the parents support, who obviously brought the kids and all that stuff. So you add those in. And then we had a musical director, 2 choreographers who were actually a part of the cast as well. An assistant director that was a student at Chillicothe High School.
That was Allison.
Allison was a part of that.
I know her and her mom a little bit there.
And she was a part of it. And then a music director, Melissa Lawless was her name. She works at Uniola High School as a librarian there. And then the producer, stage director. So it probably took about 40 people to pull it off all together.
Wow.
And then
not to mention the volunteers that worked it. So.
Yeah. And that's all, people doing this like as for fun, like as a hobby. Like nobody's making money off of it.
Someone said, did you guys get paid for doing that?
Oh.
Like, no.
I mean, that money's just going to being able to put on the next show, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So speaking of,
yes, do
we have a plan for a next show?
I am actually going to step back for just a little bit because this was 3 shows in a row for me.
Gotcha. So you did Shrek in this one. What was the other one?
Musical this past summer. I did that kind of on a whim as a if you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. And I have Shrek has a special place in my heart, and so I auditioned actually for Donkey, and got a couple different parts in that role. And then after that, they said, hey, would you be interested in auditioning for Clue? They did Clue on stage.
Oh, okay.
Of course, based on the classic board game.
Yeah.
And so it was a blast. I had played Professor Plum in that. And then I knew I was going to be auditioning for Miracle because I knew my daughters wanted to be a part of it. But I said, I'll do Miracle, but I want a smaller part. So I actually was, Drunk Santa at the beginning. And then my main role was R.H. Macy, which still gave me the opportunity to sing a couple songs.
Yeah, and so here you are here shaking hands with Santa Claus.
Yep.
And toward the end of the show in the court case, I think you have the catchiest song in the whole bit.
Yeah.
It's
that man over there is Santa Claus. Essentially, we kind of hijack the court, if you will, and make it a musical.
So Matt's character is like put on the stand to testify.
Yeah.
And his I don't know, testimony is not the right word,
yeah.
But like he just breaks into song.
Yeah,
just like the rest of the courtroom is like singing the background and everything.
Awesome.
It's all dancing and stuff like that. And he does this whole big song thing, and then the lawyer's like, answer the question or whatever, and he starts to sing again. And he's like, no, get off the stand.
And then we proceed to try to bribe the judge, if you will, or not bribe him per se, change his mind by reminding him, that he's willing to put his political career on the future for something like this. And that's another song. So 2 songs back to back, and so. But yeah, it's a lot, and I chose that role because I knew there was a little bit of a comedic part to it, and I like to have some fun with that kind of stuff and hopefully make people laugh a little bit. So.
Well, I think you succeeded.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good. I'm so sorry I missed it. I would have loved to have seen that.
But to go back to answer your question, taking a little bit of a pause personally from it, but we'll most likely jump in this next summer. Their plan is to do Mary Poppins.
Ooh.
And so I will probably most likely audition for that.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, no.
The dancing penguin.
Yeah, I could maybe the dancing penguin, but no, I will probably audition for Mr. Banks for that role most likely. But and then they're planning to do a kids musical in the spring. They haven't announced the dates yet, but they're going to do Winnie the Pooh, the musical for kids.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I expect our girls will probably audition for that. So be watching if you follow. It's at Chillicothe Civic Theater. CCTChillicothe.com is their website.
And if you want to get involved, you can check that out
and
too.
And of course, don't forget here locally we have Apple City Players.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're getting ready to do. They just had their auditions this past week for their next production. I think it's called the Hallelujah Girls, and that's going to be in February, I believe. So. Lots of opportunities to be involved in.
And then they're also doing the Heathers play in Chillicothe, right?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, they're doing
like
that.
really?
Yes. And I walked in last night. After we struck the set, we walked in. We took everything back to the theater to put it away and stuff. And I walked in, and I'm
the
familiar with the
Girls.
the movie Heathers. I know the movie, the original, and I'm kind of familiar with the musical. But needless to say, and my youngest of the twins doesn't understand why she can't see Heather. She doesn't understand because Daddy, it's a musical. Why can't I go see it? Like, well, honey, it's not exactly. If you don't know, Heathers is based on the movie Heathers, which is a little bit darker. It's if you will. So
I call it the original Mean Girls. So
yeah, it is. It really is.
Like
and then,
it gets a little rough.
I walked in on a song, just part of a song last night, and it was like. The song goes, holy, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's what we're looking for.
This is why the kids aren't going. Okay, all right.
But yeah,
cool.
They have all kinds of stuff involved. But there's, I like to tell people, here locally in all the school systems, we have such phenomenal programs. I know Lion King Jr. is coming up this weekend at Wilson, and I think, are they coming in later this week?
Yes, I think maybe even tomorrow. I have to double check the schedule.
It's either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's Wilson. Of course, Jackson just finished up their big production. Yep. And in the spring, I was told Waverly, I think it is doing Les Miserables.
Wow.
Whoa.
Which is a major undertaking.
That's a big one.
And so, all kinds of phenomenal arts programs around. And so get involved, be a part of it,
Yeah, it's fun.
It really is, so.
Yeah, we can get back to it. So, yeah.
And even if you don't want to be on stage, they're always looking for, crew members too.
Yep, absolutely.
You got it.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate you popping over here. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, come back anytime.
We will.
Did Rodney truly give away all your stuff?
He gave away most of it. I came in on Friday and finished up, and I was like, what the heck?
We were talking about the Wendy's thing. James I think Rodney gave away
that's
all.
That's the one thing I hope he didn't give away because those have to be given for specific reasons, And yeah, people call it, but I walk in, I was like, and we had the Cincinnati Reds give us some giveaway type things, and we generally save those for baseball season. And I walked in Friday afternoon, there were boxes of bobbleheads everywhere with names. I'm like, what the heck? He's like, you must have just given away everything last week. So, but it's all I appreciate.
It's like he thinks we're getting ready to move again. We gotta get rid of all
Let's
stuff.
give it all away.
We just moved all that stuff here.
Yeah. So then, Porter filled in for me, and so it was fun to come in and come back in. And I always enjoy when he steps in and helps us out. So
he's a hoot. That's for
absolutely.
sure.
So, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you so much.
See you, bud.
All right. Well, probably ought to get out of here.
Probably
for the
ought
day.
to. Probably ought to go do some real work.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for filling in for today. And
you're welcome.
I don't know. Maybe Pete will stop by if he has some time.
Yeah.
And if not, we'll catch up with him later in the week.
Absolutely.
So we'll see. And I guess we'll be back here tomorrow.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God willing and the internet working.
Yeah.
So
it seems to went okay today, but I also was up here not really paying attention. So we could have gone off the air 20 minutes ago and I wouldn't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.